Okay, I want to start with a thought experiment. Imagine a baby learning to talk, getting out its first few syllables, imitating its parents, till finally it can say a word or a sentence. Now, imagine a curriculum for learning to talk. There'd be a textbook, of course.
Which card says dog?
Flashcards, phonemes for baby to remember, competition, and of course punishment if baby got it wrong. Would our imaginary child be enhanced as a result? Well, actually, research shows that correcting verbal disfluency increases speech problems in later life. And I want to suggest that maybe all learning is like this, that by doing our best to teach kids, we're destroying their desire and capacity to learn. John Holt was a teacher in the United States in the 50s and 60s. Watching the students that passed through his private school classes, he saw that rather than being active, engaged learners, they were terrified of school. School was a frustrating and terrifying battleground full of potential failure and public humiliation, and examination was constant. Success in school was shaky at best, and students were rewarded for guessing at the right answer rather than really understanding the material. Now, my own education, growing up in the early 1900s, bears this out. I grew up loving reading and writing, but school was just a battleground where kids who couldn't wait to leave were taught by teachers who didn't want to be there. How did it get to be like this? Well, our education system, with its segregation by age, gender and ability, its uniforms and its teacher at the top of the classroom, is based on the Prussian education system of the early 19th century, and it was not designed to create articulate, well-rounded adults like Fraser there. This one-size-fits-all authoritarian model was designed to create fixed habits of reaction to authority. It was designed to deselect those eugenically judged unfit and to prepare workers for the factories of the Prussian Empire. Maybe we can do better today. Maybe it's possible to build a school, a very small school, designed around the needs of learners rather than prescribing, medicalizing, and increasingly criminalizing our children. Finland has done this. In the 1970s, their economy was based almost entirely on logging. The country needed to go forward, and so they reformed teaching. Today, you need a master's degree to be a teacher in Finland, and only 10% of those who apply ever become teachers. And in Finland, as a result, there's no testing in schools until age 16, no streaming in the classroom. Teachers spend 50% of their time not teaching but becoming better teachers, and the OECD ranks Finland as the best Western education system. And moving on, okay. But this isn't perfect. There's still a set curriculum. Even in Finland, students are ultimately sent down an academic or a vocational path. There's still testing at the end of school. And school doesn't still fit the individual needs of learners. Another model is the Waldorf approach. You might have heard of Waldorf or Steiner schools. There's about 1,000 of them worldwide. They have an art and music-based curriculum. They still cover all the subjects, but they're taught through art and music, and academics and literacy are only emphasized later. Another model is the 30 or so Sudbury Valley schools in the United States. They don't have a curriculum at all. There's no classes or teachers. The kids just do whatever they want. School is a gymnasium for learning full of instruments and tools, and 82% of graduates finish college or other higher education. I want to suggest that in the era of MIT open courseware, the maker movement, of the Khan Academy, that it's time to do this everywhere. That it's time to build what Ivan Illich called reference services to educational objects, learning centres, peer-driven, free and open to all, where we can learn at our own pace, whatever meets our fancy. These would be places full of tools, full of academic books and journals, full of art supplies, kind of like here today. And they'd be available to everyone at no cost. These volunteer-run institutions would encourage social engagement, autonomy, and build more rounded adult human beings. Community there as well. So, is this possible? Well, with lectures in art and science being given away for free online and recorded everywhere, I think that we can build this. With Exchange Dublin and Chômeur Spree serving as models for autonomous, consensus-driven institutions, I think the potential of a free institution like this is very real. We ran in Exchange Dublin something called Exchange Knowledge, which was a set of free lectures and everything from physics to fitness. And what I want to finish is by saying a quote from a famous educator who once said, that I've concluded that genius is as common as dirt. We suppress our genius only because we haven't yet figured out how to manage a population of educated men and women. I conclude by saying that, as he said, the solution, I think, is simple and glorious. Let them manage themselves. Thank you very much.